Joining us in studio, head coach D'Amico Ryans. Coach, happy bye week. Here we are.
Happy bye week. Finally here.
Finally here. It's only been since mid-July, Coach. It's been a long run, but you come into the bye having beaten Jacksonville. And let's start there because at the end of the game, you kill the clock with the ground game, and I know you're all fired up about that. Guys blocking, Joe running. You got the job done, ended the game.
Yeah, I love to see the way we ended that game, right? Offensively, did not want to put the defense back out on the field, so they knew we were running the ball. We knew we were running. Hey, he's talking through it with Bobby. He's going with our best run of the day, and we show up, and there's no more important block on that play than Robert Woods.
Okay.
Coming into the screen, we put Robert to block their linebacker. He did an exceptional job of blocking him. Our tight ends were great on that play as well. Laramie, excellent job. Everybody is what we talk about in the run game, getting a hat on a hat and controlling the line of scrimmage, moving guys off the line of scrimmage. That's how it should look right there. And that was a fun way to end the game, to make sure we're going out in victory formation and kneeling it out. Love to see that every single time.
Yeah. That's both times on a road division game. You did it in Indy in week 1. You did it in Jacksonville, finishing it that way. And it's fulfilling. But, Coach, that's 10. I said this to you after the game. That's 10 straight road division wins for the Texans. I don't want to ask you if there's any secret sauce. I don't want you to give that up. But what is it about playing on the road in the division where you guys sort of light up a little bit and go get wins?
Yeah, I wish it was one thing I could put my my hat on that. It was, one thing here playing on the road, but it's really just the way our guys showed up mentally yesterday. That was it. Like, we were in a great spot. Everybody was playing to win the game. And that's what you felt, the effort, right, the mindset, how guys were finishing. Like, that's what it takes. Every time you line up, we're not playing to not lose, you play to win, and that's what I saw.
Did you have any concern at all that might be the case, that we've had 12 long weeks? This is the 13th week. Man, where are they going to be physically? Where are they going to be mentally? Did you have a concern about that heading into the game, Coach?
For sure. That's my concern. Just when you go at it for such a long time, it's draining, especially physically on the body. We play a very physical sport. It's taxing on the body, and a lot of people don't see it. I mean, you have a lot of guys who are going through, it may not be a really significant injury, but guys have these nicks and bumps that they have to kind of fight through all the time, right? And I just have so much respect for the guys, knowing that the pounding that they put on their bodies and to go 13 straight weeks without taking a break. And it was definitely on my mind, man, we just have to push through and try to muster out a win, even though our guys are physically exhausted.
I want to go back to the end of the game for a moment because it's 3rd and 5, and you said your best running play ready to go. But as the head coach, you also have to be ready for those tough decisions. What if it's 4th and 1, 4th and 2? Are we going to punt? Are we going to go for it, try to end the game that way? You always have to think ahead like that.
Yeah, you always have to think ahead. Of course, every play you think it's going to get the first down, but you're already kind of thinking ahead in that situation. Man, I'm just whatever our best run is in that situation, I was thinking first down only. Let's make sure we get
one
the first.
option.
But if we were in that situation and we had to punt the ball, we had to punt it and go play defense.
Coach, you gave the offensive line a game ball. We talked about this a little bit. They got a couple of sacks early on. Early game running, not getting as much, and then all of a sudden it was that drive. In the third quarter, when we got this 6-6, you had that 5-play drive, and they opened up Joe that long run, and then Joe scored on the next one. I feel like after that, you really kind of broke the dam in a sense of running the football. When you went back and looked at the tape, how did you kind of assess what the offensive line was able to do?
Yeah, and that was it, man. They stayed after it in the run game. The passing game, the protection, I thought was really one of our best days of protecting. We got a few of the same pressures we seen, getting 4-2 aside. I thought our guys handled that really well. They communicated well. But overall, they gave CJ time in the protection piece. In the run game, I think we're just staying after it and kind of wearing those guys down. Yeah. I think that's what really made us have a good day in the running game. I mean, Laramie did a really great job playing physical all game. Juice had one of his better games, saw a step there in improving. Just guys are getting better. Yeah. And that's what's so cool to see about, where we are at this point in the season, to still speak about how we're improving and getting better down the stretch, like it's encouraging to see how much better our team can be when everybody's firing on the same cylinders.
Does it surprise even you how much of a leader Joe has been for this football team and how effective on the field as well? I know you're expecting good things, but these are amazing things you're getting out of him.
Yeah, I mean, it's not surprising just watching him when he first came into the building. Like, you just feel a guy who had confidence, right? He was sure that he's going to turn out, he's going to get yards, he's going to make plays, and you felt that. And he's been the same guy from my first interaction with him when he first stepped in the building until now. Like, he brings that swagger. I talk about it all the time. He brings a swagger and a confidence that he brings it to our entire group. And I think the O-line, everyone feeds off it. They're asking, like, can we run the ball again? Because they know what Joe can create, even if it's not there. It's one play where the Jacksonville Jaguars, they lined up kind of on the wrong side, and they got an overload to our left, and we're running the ball to the left, but Joe's able to put a foot in the ground and create his own explosive run just by being, a dynamic player playing with great vision. So when you have a guy like that, even though you're running into a brick wall, he can put his foot in the ground and go make a play on his own. That's big-time play.
And this is kind of your vision for the offense, right? Because CJ's still throwing the ball a lot. You're top 5 in passing yards, your quarterback is, and Joe's doing what he's doing, 3rd in the league in yards per game. So it's all kind of working together right now. You want to see that continue,
It
right?
is. It's about having a balanced attack, right, on offense, right? We can throw it when we need to throw it, and also when you can run the ball, it just makes it easier, right? Now, we wanted to lean heavy on our play-action pass game versus the Jags. We're only able to do that because of what we can do in the running game. Like, you can only get the second-level defenders to step up if you're effective at running the football. And so it goes hand in hand, right? Running the ball leads to Nico being open in the middle of the field with no defenders around him. So we just continue to work on that, having balance and making sure we're executing on all phases.
Coach, I was asking you about fatigue level at this point of the year, both mental and physical, and you were asked about the rookies. They go 13 in a row. I mean, that's tough. They're learning the game. My thought about the rookies that have been on the field, I felt like even though yesterday he got beat on the one touchdown, Kamari was involved in the run game all game long. Like, he was diving into plays. He was there. And for our listeners out there, if they want to go see the difference in how you played as a defensive back, watch the Jaguars defensive back on our last play with Joe Mixon around the ball. He didn't want any part of that. Kamari wanted every piece of every teal jersey that was coming his way. We've talked about what you like about him, but to see him doing that in week 13, I thought that was a real big feather in the cap. What do you think about how he played yesterday and what he gave you in the run defense?
Yeah, his intensity and the way he shows up as a corner, the physicality it's unmatched. Like, you don't see corners stepping up in the run game the way Kamari does. Like, in the way he just flies around to the football. Like, it's fun to watch. And when your corners are physical and they're tackling, that's the makings of a physical defense. The same on the other side. I talk about Robert and his blocking on the perimeter. Like, your receivers are blocking, your corners are tackling. That's physical football, right? Everybody else on the inside, that's a given. You have to play physical. You won't make it on the inside. But Kamari, man, he flies around, and he is fun to watch. So I love watching him play. He played a lot of snaps for us. Being a rookie, we threw him in there, and he hasn't blinked. He's made a lot of plays for us. He's still growing as a player, but, man, I love his intensity on the field.
Coach, I know you've been asked a lot about Aziz, but one thing about his character, you were asked about that as well. This is a phenomenal individual. Johnny and I were so impressed the first time we got to spend some time with him, and anybody would be if they do get that opportunity. I know it was a rough moment yesterday, but what about Aziz and moving forward and what he means to this football team?
Yeah, Aziz means everything to us. He's our leader. Especially on the defensive side, he's our leader. He gets our guys going. He's the communicator on our defense. He's that quarterback of the defense. So he's everything to what we do and how we can be effective. It takes him, right? And you don't have that Mike Backer out there like you're seeing in the game. Yesterday, we missed him. Right? We missed his presence. He was on track to have a really good game. He had a very productive day within 19 snaps. I think he had like 5 tackles. So he's having a productive day. But Aziz, just the character and the guy, he's such an amazing guy. You wish, everybody could get to talk to him and know him, but he's a guy who wears his heart on his sleeve. Like, he really cares about others, like not only his teammates, but others. Like, Aziz came from a rough upbringing, so he understands what it's like to not have, and he wants to make sure he shares and helps others, and that's important to him, and that's who he is as a man. He's caring, he's loving, he's a great guy to talk to, very intelligent young man, and I love working with him. I've known Aziz since 2019. Had a lot of conversations with him, a lot of talks. Aziz is like family to me. Like, he means a lot to me, and I know the type of player that he is. He plays physical, he plays fast, and that kind of gets it's shunned because of the game we play now today, where people aren't playing as fast and physical as Aziz, and somebody gets hit, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. Can you still do that? Like, yeah, it's football. It's still a violent game. It's still a physical game. But, we all have Aziz back and everything that he's doing, and I've talked to Aziz. He's in a good spot.
Coach, it's 6-6 in the third quarter, and you get the ball after they kick the field goal to tie it. And we've all talked about the second half scoring problems and all that kind of stuff. And then you have the screen that goes awry, but then the next 4 plays might have been 4 of your better offensive plays. You hit Nico on the inside route. Dalton goes up and over somebody.
Yeah.
And then Joe hits the 2 runs back to back. And it felt like that was one of your better drives when we felt like you needed one. You came up with the big drive there. Was that kind of the way that you saw that 5-play sequence there, that you had to have it and you got it?
That's exactly how I saw it. There's been so much talked about our second half offense, and I'm like, man, we definitely need this drive right now. And our playmakers, our top players, stood up and made plays. Nico, Dalton, Joe, just for them to make those plays in that moment when we needed it most, for us to get, I think it was 17 points in the second half when we haven't been scoring a lot of points in the second half. Man, it's impressive. And this goes to show, like, we're still improving. We're still growing. Right. And we can be a good second half team, right, when we put it all together and just execute, and that shows right there. We needed that drive. Offense stepped up and made it a big drive for us.
All right, it's bye week, but I have a feeling you're not going to be sitting around in a Hawaiian shirt with an umbrella drink, Coach. I know that you're going to spend time with the family, but there's work to do also. What about self-scouting and all the stuff we hear about teams going through during bye week? What is there about that?
Yeah, well, with the self-scouting, you go back through just your season or you go back through like the last 4 to 6 games to see just the things you've done well and see, are there any tendencies that other teams may be picking up on that you can look at with a fresh set of eyes. Sometimes you get into the monotonous of this week game plan on to the next. Sometimes you maybe lose sight on some of those fresh ideas that you need from studying other teams or just really taking a deep dive at yourself. So we'll look at ourselves, see where things we've done well, things we can change, and just see, where we can lean in more on certain plays. But it's really a time to refresh as coaches so you can come back with a set of fresh eyes as well.
All right, the Amegy Bank Ask Coach question of the week. All right, Coach, I'm going to give you a selection of movies you can watch with the kids, and you got to pick one, okay?
Here we go.
Some are Pixar. I don't think Minions is Pixar, but Minions is one of those, right?
Okay.
So Minions, Up, Inside Out, Sing, or any one of the Toy Stories. What are you picking, Coach?
I'm picking Sing.
Sing, okay.
Sing is
and there's a Sing 2 also, right?
There's a Sing 2. Sing is a family favorite of ours. Everybody knows all the songs.
Great movie.
Really upbeat, fun movie. So I'm a big Sing fan.
Yeah.
It's great because you know the songs, they know the songs,
Yes.
they're old songs. It's good.
And we can have a great time in there. Everybody jumping around, singing and dancing.
Yep.
All right.
Sounds good. Coach, thanks a lot. Have a great bye.
Thank you, guys.